My M33 wife F33 lied me about her past with a friend. I don't know how to move forward. Been told this will fit there, so I am looking for advice. I am 33, and my wife is F33. We have been together for 10 years and married for 7. She was my first serious relationship and my first sexual partner. I was her second since she had one boyfriend before me. We built a life together, lived abroad for a while, got married, had our first child, and eventually moved back home. Now we have 2 kids. While we were abroad, my wife reconnected on Facebook with an old friend. Let's call him Mark. He lived at this time in same city aboard. I asked if they were ever more than friends, and she said no. He was married at the time, and we even became somewhat friendly with him and his wife. After we moved home, we lost touch until about 3 years ago when Mark's wife was diagnosed with cancer. Our kids played together, and we tried to support their family. 2 months ago, Mark started leaning heavily on my wife. They went out a few times, and he told her he had cheated on his dying wife because he missed sex, and complaining he still missed sex and don't know what to do. My wife told me about this, and I found it strange he would confide in her about that. Later I found out she was deleting conversations with him. She admitted they had talked about our marriage problems and said she deleted them, so I would not see. She promised to stop hiding things but kept deleting, so I began checking her phone. A month ago, Mark's wife passed away. The next day, I found a secret chat app on my wife's phone. At first she said it was just for girlfriends, then admitted it was only with Mark. Instead of apologizing, she messaged him. My husband found out, but don't worry, I didn't unlock it for him. That night I also found nude photos she said she thought about sending to him, plus browser history searches like how to write erotic messages. When I confronted her again, she finally confessed. Mark was not just an old friend. He had been her FWB while she was dating her first boyfriend. She had told me I was only her second partner, but that was a lie. She swears nothing physical has happened recently, but I feel devastated. She insists the secret chats were only about him asking her how to sext his new girlfriend. He found this new girlfriend while his wife was still dying. At this point, I don't even care about the details. The issue is the lies, the secrecy, and that she kept hiding things even after I confronted her. She says I am overreacting, that it was in the past, that it was just sex. She was my first partner, and it hurts to learn this now. Our relationship feels like it was built on a lie, and I honestly don't know if I would have been with her if I had known she cheated on her boyfriend back then. It is also about lost truth for me. I have started therapy, but things are very rough between us. I told her to block Mark, delete all contact, and never speak to him again. I also said our kids will not play with his kid, because I do not want him in our lives. She thinks I am going too far and keeps saying I am punishing the kids and blowing this out of proportion. Is quitting everything necessary? I really don't know how to move forward. Edit. I know his number. I phone it out via phone provider that she sent texts to his number yesterday. She deleted them from device, but she didn't know I can check provider files. She also had his number saved under name of her girlfriend and lied to me again. Thanks for support, I am done. I'm not sure you have a way forward with a cheating, lying wife who insists she needs her AP in her life for the children. How sure are you that they're yours? Dude, your wife and affair partner deserve each other. They both don't respect relationships. Your wife doesn't respect you, and even made a comment to him about hiding things from you. Like you're a joke to their little affair game. I would bet my house that she has sent him nudes. You just found some, and she gave you a bullshit excuse. I have been with my Mrs. 16 year. If I caught her doing this, I would leave her. I'm not staying in a relationship with someone so disrespectful to not only their partner, but a dying woman also. Disgusting people. I would also DNA test the kid. Cheaters lie. My friend, please tell me you are not this gullible. She has without doubt been sleeping with Mark, and is trying to trickle truth you. Don't tell her to block him. She should be volunteering this herself. But clearly she doesn't respect you. Usually I try and see the positives, but you are her doormat, and she will never not be a user. Cut your losses and get out. Assuming this is real, you're toast. It's likely over. She's lying to you and having, at a minimum, an emotional affair with him. Don't let her gaslight you. Mark is a suitor, not a friend. He's actively trying to seduce your wife, and she is entertaining and encouraging his advances. Or has already physically cheated. Only chance is full cutoff and block. Kids are a completely unreasonable excuse. You have got to the mat on this one. Full cutoff or divorce. Don't listen to anything about you being insecure or jealous or controlling. The lying, deleting of chats, and FWB status override all of that. You don't need therapy to save your marriage. She needs to make a choice. DNA test the kids, and then leave. Stop looking for a way forward, and start looking for a way out. Mark was not just an old friend. He had been her FWB while she was dating her first boyfriend. Bro, wake up and smell the coffee. She was not just a FWB to her first boyfriend, but also her FWB while married to you. They have been planning to meet up over the now deleted messages, and also in the secret app, along with sharing of explicit photos/videos and texts. Minimizing is the second weapon unleashed by cheaters when confronted, first being gaslighting. When she can't minimize, be ready for weapon number 3, i.e., victim blaming. She will then blame you for her affair with Mark. Past. She was banging him during their recent meetups. 40M40F, the painful reality of a long-term marriage. I've been with my wife for 17 years and we've been married for almost 12. She has been a phenomenal partner in many ways. She's helped me get my degree, pushed me toward good jobs, and is an incredibly organized planner for our kids and family life. We have a shared history of beautiful moments, extensive travel, and we've supported each other through significant health hardships. We also share many core values and principles. But our problems didn't just start in the last couple of years. They have plagued us from the very beginning. Our arguments have never been about compromise. They've been about winning. I have a way of forgetting minor things, and no matter how I present my case, she has a way of speaking her way out of it, and I always end up being called an idiot or a disgusting person. The arguments always conclude with me apologizing for my behavior and promising to change, even when I feel I've done nothing wrong. The breaking point that set everything in motion was when I got an interview for a new job. For the past year, she had been pushing me to find a new job to escape a toxic workplace. I had applied for several jobs with no luck. When a former employer responded to me quickly, I was so focused on the daily chores that I forgot to tell her right away. The next day, when I messaged her with the interview invite, she was furious that I hadn't told her sooner and screamed that she felt she wasn't important. This single event made me realize the futility of our communication. It was a classic example of the dynamic where I can never win, even when I'm doing exactly what she wants me to do. There are tons and tons of examples. We have been to couples therapy several times, but they have helped little. I am at a crossroads. My children are my top priority, and I have a clear plan for the logistics of the separation. I know this will be one of the hardest conversations of my life. My sole focus on my wife and family have alienated me from all my friends, and I'm very lonely. How will I break it to her? How can I find the courage to say I want to move on? Edit. First of, thank you for your replies. It helps me more than you can imagine. Second, I notice that my meanings in my sentences doesn't always come through the way I meant. I blame it on English not being my primary language. I'd like to give some more context just for the sake of it. It's difficult to boil down 17 years to a small post. In the beginning of our relationship, everything was like on roses, just as everyone feels with newfound love. Then, I started to notice small outbursts of anger from her. They became more and more frequent. In the beginning, I stood up for myself, argued back, and asked what I really did wrong. I am a person who doesn't like to argue and try to be respectful towards others. My wife has a way with her words. When I talk about winning arguments, I mean that she always makes my wrongdoings look big and ugly, even if it's minor things such as not wiping the wall behind on the countertop. Just for my own sake, I'll ramble down some events. One time, we were on a vacation, and I got mild sunstroke with fever. She was mad at me for something I can't even remember now, and she yelled at me for hours. Whenever I'm away, which is rare, maybe once or twice per year, she always makes me feel guilty. Sends texts about her having a migraine, or she thinks the kids are sick. I have not gone out for lunch with my coworkers for 10 years. Whenever I speak with my mom on the phone, she wants to hear everything. And we always get into a fight after I've spoken with my mother. If I'm late, maybe just 10 minutes, she makes me give an exact declaration of what I have done. If I'm doing a task, and she needs something, she demands that I drop whatever I'm doing to help her. Or if I'm mowing the lawn, clean the gutters, or whatever, and I have lost track of time to cook dinner. I can get into trouble for not thinking of the children who hasn't gotten food. The list goes on. For context, she has anxiety, compulsive disorder, and PMDD. I have tried to be her pillar and rock to lean against. But I'm spent. I do all of the household work. except buying clothes for the kids and Christmas gifts. To add, she's on a special diet, and so is 2 of our kids, which means that I have to cook 2 or 3 different meals every time we eat. We have 4 children. I'll add more later if anyone wants the read. I just feel that it's reliving to write. Your wife sounds like a bully, unless you're leaving a lot of information out. This isn't the normal reality of a long-term marriage. Name-calling, putting you down and screaming at you is never okay. If couples therapy hasn't got anywhere, I'd be going the separation route. For those that are reading and are in relationships, don't be with someone who doesn't like you, with someone who insults you, and with someone who raises their voice at you. As someone who escaped an abusive relationship, fucking run, dude. It is never okay to shout or scream at your partner, unless they're driving off a cliff of something. Don't put up with being belittled or made to feel diminished and small. Fuck that noise. Best of luck, OP. Diagnoses are not excuses. I really hope you can get out cleanly. Also, literally, the only times my wife and I yell at each other are when we're on opposite sides of the house and need assistance, or to inform the other of food. You deserve that. I dunno, man, this doesn't sound normal to me. There should be a basic red line of respect that you don't cross, and that includes shouting personal insults towards your partner. I don't think is the reality of marriage, unless you're in an abusive marriage, which I have been. Apologizing constantly for things you don't think you did wrong isn't normal either. Not telling you what you should do, but just telling you this doesn't sound normal, loving, or respectful. Write a letter. Be around when she reads it, but if you all can write a clear message before your conversation, it can really structure what you both have to say. Sorry to hear this, it's a hard thing to do. I am to 20-year relationship, that was hard. But the right thing to do. How do I, F26, inform his M29 parents we broke it off? I broke up with my fiancé a few months ago and we still live together. Lease expires in 2 months. I am in the process of securing a new place, and I am convinced he is delusional about the future of our relationship. He has refused to tell his parents we broke off the engagement. His parents are coming to town in a few days, and he created a group chat of all the dinner places he made reservations for the 4 of us to go to after I told him I was not going to dinner with him and his parents. How do I tell his parents that we are no longer together? I don't want it to be awkward for them while I'm here, and I definitely don't want to be going to dinner with them every night. I was considering driving separately to one dinner outing to talk to them about it, but I'm not sure what to do. Going along with this is not an option. He also has refused to tell them, so I don't think he will do it on his own accord. I know this is an odd situation. I am honestly concerned about his sanity. One of the main reasons I'm leaving is because of the lies I kept catching him in and secret substance use, hiding alcohol and nicotine. I also don't have anywhere to stay for the weekend. We don't live near friends/family. Respond to GC stating, I apologize if this is the first you are hearing of this, but partner and I are no longer engaged/together. Because of this, I would not be comfortable participating in your family dinners. I appreciate you guys, Mill/Phil, and thank you for opening up your family to me. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be. I will be living with partner until our lease is up, but we are in no way still together, and we will not be reconciling. I hope you can respect this decision, and hope you enjoy your time here. I just be very direct through a WhatsApp message, or something that doesn't need me to be present, or allow me to be pressured in any way. I'd word it along the lines of, Hey FIL/MIL, I'm glad to hear from both of you. I hope you are well. I believe there has been some kind of misunderstanding. I am not together with / insert X name here / anymore. We have broken up for / insert period of time here / We're just sharing the same apartment until the end of the lease. For that reason, I won't be participating in your family activities while you're in town. Anyway, I thank you for the time we spent together and for welcoming me into your family with open arms. I'll be forever grateful for that. Goodbye. The end. The edit. You need to call his parents and tell them exactly what you said there. The engagement and relationship is off, and you are very concerned about his alcohol use, the lying around it, and his refusal to believe that you are not together anymore. I won't be there when you come, but I do hope you can get him the help he needs. They can call you with any questions, but this is the perfect opportunity for them to pick him up and get him help without giving him a warning. Do you have someplace to stay for the weekend? Maybe couch surf / visit a friend, or just get a motel for the weekend. Also, you should tell them and explain exactly why you're broken up. Because if you leave it to him, he will spin it in a way that makes him look better. That's just natural. I know that it will be super awkward. Most likely he will be pissed, and it's not going to be a fun 2 months. Hope you got a new place lined up already. Pack your stuff and crash some family or friend for 2 months. Let him handle his delusions. I'm worried about your son. I broke off the engagement with him a few months ago and am in the process of looking for a new place. He refuses to accept the reality of the situation and thinks nothing has changed. It might be helpful if you called them ahead of time before they arrive. I, 26 female, don't know how to handle my husband's, 30 male, disability. Never have I ever thought I would post something like this on Reddit, but here we are. I met my now husband a little over 2 years ago. He served in the military and suffered from a severe injury that could have killed him, and is now suffering from spinal pain and nerve damage in other parts of his body. He cannot feel the right side of his body, and he needs extra stimulation in order to get hard and stay hard. He can walk just fine though. We both connected instantly and fell hard for each other, and we're currently married. I was a late bloomer, so when I met him I was still a virgin. I gave him a lot of my first experiences, and I don't regret anything. The last couple months, however, our sex life really stalled. As mentioned previously, he needs extra stimulation in order to get and stay hard. He has this specific fetish which I don't care to share about as it's irrelevant, but basically whenever we wanted to have sex I'd have to give him some sort of role play to get him going and to keep him going. At first, it was just fun, right? Something new for me. I didn't mind the fact that I did not take pleasure or orgasm from this because I just enjoyed the intimacy. But as weeks passed by, I started getting tired of the extra burden and distraction that this was. Because of his back pain, the positions we can do is extremely limited. Can count them with the fingers of one hand, and they're not necessarily something I enjoy either. Pre-game, non-existent. My husband told me that he has a trauma from when he was a teenager. He and his girlfriend back then had some fast food, and he went down on her, and she shat all over his face, and ever since then he never went down on a girl ever again. A week ago, I suggested he go to therapy for this, and he called me selfish and said time would fix this. I wasn't happy with this response, so I told him exactly that, to which he replied, trauma aside, going down is not something I particularly enjoy anyways, so that had me thinking for a while. Couple moments after, I told him I don't particularly enjoy doing a role play every single time we have sex because it's a burden, a bother, and a distraction which prohibits me from ever finishing as I'm too focused paying attention on the role play. I can't really enjoy myself, and he lost his shit. He started suggesting we divorce, that we're doomed, then he said we should be an asexual marriage. WTF? I'm sure he was just being emotional, but still. I love my husband so much, I really do. But this has gone out of my hands. On paper he's the best husband ever, and he's so sweet, usually very understanding most of the times. He takes care of me, loves me, looks out for me. But our sex life is just so miserable. Sex life has become unbearable, and he can't even get surgery to fix the nerve damage because it's too experimental and anything to do with spinal cord is too risky. I'm too tired of doing role play and endlessly having sex that I'm not enjoying as I don't ever finish. Is this truly over, or is there a way out of this one? Your issue is with his sex preferences, not his disability. I find it very hard to believe he was eating his girlfriend and she took a dump. Does he not know the vagina, and but aren't the same thing? It sounds like he's selfish in bed. No foreplay. His fetish has to take front stage every time. He needs to make you come. He has one functioning hand, right? The other, lesser issue is his medical condition. Relationship advice can't help you there. But it sounds like he'd benefit from therapy to get over whatever issues he has with pleasing you based on trauma he might have. Managing his pain and mental health matter more than him getting his rocks off. Especially if you're not too. So he doesn't give you any pleasure because it's not something he particularly enjoys. But if you say the same, he wants to divorce you? Call his bluff. What an asshole. The disability part is actually a red herring here. As a person, all I have to say is that if he is that involved in his fetish, he's probably watching a lot of porn, which would also exacerbate any ED issues he is having on top of the injury. He's demanding you comply with his needs while not reciprocating any of yours, which seems to be the root of your problem and not the performance. I would just tell him what he needs to do to make you feel like he's trying to satisfy you, and if he's not willing to put in that effort, then take him up on the divorce. So when you have a critique over the current state of your sex life to help fulfill your sexual needs and bring up going to therapy, you're being unreasonable. But he expects you to do XYZ to fulfill his sexual needs, and if you fight back, he threatens divorce. You're 26 years old. Do you want this to be your reality for the next 30, 40, 50 years? If he doesn't give a shit about you and your needs, have one more calm, honest conversation about therapy, and if he doesn't care, then it's time to leave and begin the best version of your life. I think you're going to have to share what the fetish is in order for me to render a good opinion. As it stands, you have a selfish husband. Lots of people are giving you good advice. I want to agree with the people saying that one. He probably did not have that experience with a previous girlfriend too. It's less about his disability and more about his sexual preferences. And 3. He has a hand and a mouth, and neither of them have to be kept stimulated to use them. If talking to him doesn't work, and he doesn't go to therapy to actually take accountability for neglecting your sexual needs and figuring out how to get past that, then I'm sorry, but I would consider a separation. Especially before there is something like a baby in the picture.